Hello, viewers. Welcome to the first among a series of visual tutorials to get you started with programming in Python language. This will be a short session to help you with the basics like the features of the Python language and how to get Python to work on your machine. With that covered, let's get into your first lesson on Python. This session covers the following topics: Introduction to Python, the features, and setting up Python on your machine. Introduction to Python. The Python programming language was developed in the late 80s and it was derived from a number of other programming languages like C, C++, Smalltalk, and a few others. It is a high level, interpreted, object oriented programming language. Well, that's quite a few heavyweight terminologies in a breath. Well, we are here to break things down for you. A high-level programming language is one that may use or is close to natural human language or contains elements from natural language, thus making developing programs simpler. As an example, the word print might indeed be meaningful to a high-level programming language. An interpreted language enables you to run the exact code you wrote without having to rely on someone else to convert your code into a language spoken by your computer, which is the zeros and ones. This someone else being a compiler in most cases. More about compilers later. An object oriented programming language treats everything like real world objects. A car, in object oriented terms, is an object. An employee is an object. Both of these know how to get stuff done, like drive or work. You write code to ask these objects to get the stuff done. This is a pretty simplified explanation and might sound really silly for a non beginner. Our intention is to get all the complexity out at the beginning, and we'll definitely be diving deep into these concepts a little while later. Moving on to features. Python is simple, which means it is easy to learn and read. Now, we touched on the word print a while ago when we discussed high level languages. The word print does indeed have a meaning in Python. Now, as your first example, the word print followed by some text within quotes lets you get these texts appear on the screen. We have a short demo for you. The word print followed by a few text within quotes and hit enter. We can see the text Hello Python printed on the screen. Simple, isn't it? Moving on to the next feature, that is portability. Python can run on very many hardware platforms and isn't restricted to being used in a single type of machine. Python works like charm on huge commercial enterprise server to a handheld device. All of this due to its being open source, which is the third feature. By open source, we mean anybody with enough knowledge can contribute to the source code and make the language better by sharing and making changes to the code. There is a strong community backing Python that helps keep it nice and strong every day. We shall touch on the word nice to cover the final feature on our list, that is libraries. A huge collection of libraries in Python takes your work off from your shoulders. since they help you write less code. Python has tons of these written by people in the Python community who are way smarter than you and me. Let's move on to how we set up the Python programming language on our machines. On Macs, like the one we are using now, you are good to go by typing in the word Python after firing up the terminal. Now we will follow this up with a simple exercise to demonstrate this concept. Let us begin by taking the terminal. To begin with Python and to fire up Python interpreter, I type in Python and press enter. I am into the Python interpreter, and in order to start printing my first program, that is, I want to print the text hello world. I type in print followed by hello world in quotes and press enter. You can see the word hello world printed on the screen. Moving on, most Linux distributions follow the same procedure, so we have that covered as well. Addition to that, we have a tip for you that in Macs and Linux, Python 2.7 comes pre-installed. But for Windows, you have an additional work. The Windows users who are tuned in can visit the URL you see on your screen and download the 32-bit or the 64-bit installers, which will take care of rest of the procedures. We have a screen grab from the website, and you'll have to specifically install either of the two options listed within the rectangular box. With that, we are wrapping up the first session. We hope we've got you excited about Python